Hi everyone, welcome back to JoanneTechLover. I'm Joanne and I have more Computex 2016 footage for all of you. This video will cover the Gigabyte booth. The first thing I saw at the Gigabyte booth was the X99 Designare EX OC benchmark station. This setup was able to break 5 world records on the RAM speeds using the G-Skill Trident Z 64GB DDR4 DIMMs. Let's head over to the motherboard wall. Here's a closer look at the X99 Designare EX motherboard for the broadwell-e chips. Glad to see the metal shielding over the PCIe slots for rigidity, and there's more spacing between the slots for airflow and thicker cards. Even the DIMM slots have metal covers to prevent PCB bending. You get full RGB around the board. Here's a sample of where the RGBs would be on the Designare EX. Also on the board is a 4-pin header for an aftermarket Rgb LED strip. Once connected, the LED strip and motherboard LEDs can be synced up together. Gigabyte added in this aluminum shielding between the first and second PCIe slots to cover the M.2 slots for shielding the thermals, as M.2 SSDs can get warm. Here's two U.2 ports for Nvme SSDs supporting up to 32 gigabit per second speeds. This is the USB 3.1 Type-C port connected to the Intel Alpine Ridge chip. It's a Thunderbolt 3 ready port. Next to this port is the display port. This one is special because it's a display port in. There are Thunderbolt 3 displays now, but since discrete graphics cards don't have Thunderbolt 3 ports at the moment, you'd route from the graphics card to the display port in. And that in turn activates the Thunderbolt 3 port in conjunction with the graphics card. You then connect the Type-C port into a monitor and can even daisy chain it. The next thing we went over on the Designare was the Plx Chip. Even if you're running 28-lane low-end broadwell-e processors, you'll still get 3-way X16 performance. Wow, running 3 cards at X16 speeds? That's impressive. We also took a look at the Z170X Designare motherboard for the Skylake platform. There's a mini DisplayPort in, and you get the same features you'd get on the Designare EX through the cable looping process which activates the 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. Here's a THBC pin header, which means that this is a Thunderbolt 3 pin header. You can route this to your front I/O. Gigabyte has included support for 3-way Nvme SSDs in RAID 0 on this board. That's whippity quick. You'll see the 3-way Nvme SSDs in action on this testbed. They're connected to the Z170X Designare motherboard. These are the speeds this setup is achieving, ranging from USB 2.0 to Thunderbolt 3 to the triple SSD configuration in RAID 0. Let's move on to more cool stuff. This is the Thunderbolt 3 hub with daisy chain support. Look at the bajillion connections you can get from a single Thunderbolt 3 port. I was bug-eyed. What you're seeing is an early prototype. With the power port and Thunderbolt 3 port in use, you'll get PS2, DisplayPort, HDMI, daisy chain support, USB 3, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, SD card readers, more USB ports, Type-C, mic and headphone ports. Gigabyte partnered up with Silverstone for this early prototype of a graphics card enclosure. It has its own PSU to power the card. The graphics card is connected onto a circuit board and it converts to Thunderbolt 3, so you can connect to various compatible devices. You can install a 1080 inside this case or 1070 if you wish. In this area are the 1080 G1 gaming graphics cards. This card is the mainstream version. It has the same WindForce design as the 980 Ti's. Here's the main event, the 1080 Xtreme Gaming graphics card. This is Gigabyte's flagship card. It has a new cooler design called the WindForce Stack Fan. You'll notice that the fans overlap a bit. One fan sits lower than the other two. These are 100mm fans, and this design is pending a patent. What you get with this design is a shorter card. It's a 2.5 slot thick card. It also has an aluminum shroud. The Xtreme Gaming card uses 2 8-pin power connectors. In this section are 2 HDMI headers. These route to the front panel of a case and are meant for VR devices. The backplate is all aluminum, and what's cool is that the logo on the backplate is actually facing the right way once the card is installed. On the rear is a DVI-D port, 3 DisplayPort 1.4a ports, and 1 HDMI 2.0 port. The front of this card lights up too in RGB. You can program it via their software called Xtreme Utility Engine. There's also an LED indicator for the silent stop fans. It'll light up once the fan stops spinning. Here's a look at the graphics card LEDs flashing in sync with the Xtreme Gaming CPU cooler. The cooler is still in early design, so we'll have to wait for more specs on that. One last thing I want to share with you guys are all the sick mods I saw at the Gigabyte booth. They were so cool, detailed, and just superb. That wraps up my event coverage at Computex 2016 on Gigabyte's booth. If you like what you saw and you want to see more like it, be sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons, as well as follow me on social media. JoanneTechLover Facebook, JoanneTechLover again on Twitter, and JoanneTechLover once more on Instagram. Also, be sure to check out my other YouTube channels, JTL Lifestyle, JTL Cuteness Overload, and JTL Love Life and Advice. I guess it's all for now, and see you later!